students, before I begin, I want to show you my t-shirt here. It says Concrete Vegan and Abstract Art. If you ever want to make some vegan art or to draw attention to the movement with the clothing that you wear, but you don't want to buy something, you can just draw something yourself. Just get some black paint, make a bunch of shapes and write on there, Concrete Vegan with a little arrow and Abstract Art with another arrow over there. If I can do it, you can totally do it too. For those of you who are just joining and who've never met me before in your life, I am that vegan teacher. I am Miss Katie. I am 56 years old. I am here in Canada. I am a registered nurse. Well, I don't work as a nurse anymore, but I did for 25 years. Then I became a school teacher for 9 years. And now I'm teaching here online. And I'm teaching about veganism, about speciesism and how speciesism is wrong. And I'm hoping to encourage the entire world to become vegan with everybody else's help. And there are other wonderful animal rights activists. And here's one of them. Joey Carbstrong is somebody who I watched at the beginning before becoming vegan. I became vegan in June of 2016, June 27th. And he is one of the people that I used to watch do his activism. And Joey has never actually contacted me in real life. Even though I got 1.7 million followers on TikTok, he had his vision on doing his own work, and I had my vision on doing my work. And that's totally fine. But I just want everybody to know that my real philosophy is that vegans should support each other as often as they can anyway. And so I always continue, whenever I find any animal rights activists that I think are doing a good job, I try to promote them. And on TikTok or on Instagram, you can use a hashtag that I created, which is called Vegans Supporting Vegans. Vegans Supporting Vegans. And that way vegans can find other vegans and support each other. Just basically pat each other on the back and say, hey, thank you so much for what you taught me, or I really like your video. So in continuing with that, I want to show you a video that Joey made recently, and I will stop it from time to time just to talk about it. But mostly I'll let you just listen to his words.
Just because I really wanted to say something about some of the feelings that I have about the visit that I did to a factory farm with a VFC recently. And I just wanted to sort of express how hard it is for an animal rights activist to go into a farm like that and see so many suffering animals and not be able to help them. I just want to give you a little bit of insight, as to, you might just say, well, why don't you just take them out of the farm? Well, I just want to, if I could have taken all of those animals out of that farm and helped them, of course I would. It's just not that simple. So it's 2 a.m. It's a 30-minute walk from the park where we park to the farm, and it's freezing cold. Okay, just to give you an idea. When we go inside the shed, everywhere you walk, there's another suffering bird, and they're on their last breath nearly, and they're face down, and they're breathing heavily, hyperventilating, and their eyes are shut, and they're about to die. Now, I wanted to pull a bird out of there. I didn't have a pet carrier. I was afraid that if I pulled a bird out of there, they would suffer in the cold on the way back to the car. So I didn't want to put the animal through that suffering, and they probably wouldn't make it to the car. And it's 3 a.m. and where was a vet near us, and where was a sanctuary near us? It's just, I didn't expect there to be so many dying birds on the floor. I mean, it was a really difficult situation, and you can't help but feel like you didn't do what you could have.
All right, so many of you know that I do evaluate different speeches that I see, and here's how I do it. I write the name of the person, and I write good and bad when I see anything in their presentation that I think is good or that's bad. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give him a check mark because he went in there and filmed some animals. And I'm going to give him a check mark for filming putting it on YouTube here and letting us know about what's going on. If anybody is criticizing Joey Carbstrong for having not saved those specific animals, you are really missing the point. Joey Carbstrong is somebody who works every single day to try to raise awareness about the animal suffering. Just the fact that he went in there is already amazing. I don't know how somebody can do that. I would be crying my eyes out. I couldn't. It takes so much emotional energy to detach enough to give a speech and talk about the animals around him. So some of you might think, well, I should give him an X here for having not taken any animals out of there. But what you fail to understand is that animal rights activists are so overwhelmed already, so full of dystopia, the anguish of being vegan in a non-vegan world, that just for them to drive to these locations and film them takes an emotional toll that is immense. Just to walk through the door, you're scared because you don't know if you're going to get attacked. You are sad because of what you see. You are furious with what you see. It's like a reporter during a war. A reporter can stand there and film everything that's going on. And you might say, put down your camera and go and run and save somebody. But there are certain people in the world whose job is simply to report what goes on, to give the message to you. I truly think that anybody who speaks out negatively against Joey and what he did here really needs to look at their own actions. Think about yourself. When was the last time that you had the courage to go in and film in a factory farm? It's excruciatingly difficult. So I want to thank Joey, and I give him nothing but praise.
When you leave, and there's nothing harder than that type of feeling, feeling of could I have done something else to help while I was in there? And all I could do is just plead with the public.
Please stop doing this to them. Please.
All I could do was just offer some type of comfort to the bird on the floor. There were so many. There were so many who'd recently died, who were dying, who were just limping around, suffering. It's just overwhelming. What do you do in that situation, And it's just a tough one. And I still think about it now, and still think about that bird that I was comforting on the floor, and I'm trying to fight back tears, and there's cameras rolling as well, so I have to advocate for the public to change, while I'm trying to deal with everything inside that shed myself. And it's a very overwhelming, saddening, frustrating situation, and having that type of weight on your shoulders, feeling what can I do to stop this right now? It's very pressurizing, and it's very I don't think any one activist should take that entire weight on their shoulders, which is great that we have a movement, but it's really hard to expect someone who cares deeply not to take that weight, of the entire system of animal agriculture. I mean, it's just where do you start? Where do you start? In one of the pig sheds? One of the chicken sheds? What about the fish farms? The testing labs? Horse racing tracks? There's so much exploitation and suffering and murder that it's just where do I begin, and what do I do?
So in case you're wondering, every time that Joey mentions another species of animal that is suffering, I'm giving him a check mark for raising awareness. Many people don't think about things like horse racing as being abusive because they don't know what goes on. They don't understand how the animals are bred into existence to be slaves, and all of the other animals that Joey's talking about. And I just totally get him. I really do. Joey, you're probably never going to see this, but I just want you to know that I recognize that look on your face. People might think because you're not crying right now that it doesn't mean that it means that you don't feel, or that you're not screaming. Now, I have allowed myself in certain videos to scream, and I've allowed myself to cry on camera, and maybe you have also. But people, when you see somebody like this, it doesn't mean that they don't care. It means that they are just trying to survive. He has been through a war zone. He has seen animals suffering in the same ways that they've suffered in concentration camps during World War II, that animals are the same as humans in that regard, in that they are imprisoned and unable to see the daylight and are forced to act as slaves. This is a Holocaust, and it's not normal for one human to go in there and film this and to be expected to do something about it other than just the mere fact that he's going in there and showing a video. He has done his part. The rest of you have to rise and help by sharing his video and subscribing to his channel. Share this. Just press the share button. Share it on your social media. Everywhere. Facebook, Instagram. Send him messages of love and support.
But yeah, I just thought I would share that with you. Like, just uploading a video where it was a powerful video, and I'm very grateful that we did that video. It's just that couldn't help but feel regrets, like, that I didn't do enough while I was there, but it's just it was just a tough situation. I did my best and plead with the public, but you live with these types of things as an activist, always thinking, did I do enough? Have I done enough? Am I making enough of an impact? And I'm always very self-critical and every single day I put myself under enormous amounts of pressure to try to do something. You know what I mean? And yeah, I'm sure there's a bunch of activists out there who feel the same, bunch of vegans who feel the same. But yeah, I just want to make this video just to remember those birds suffering on the shed floor, and the ones I couldn't help, and the ones that are loaded up onto a truck now, terrified little babies who will be executed and then devoured by a human who is completely ignorant to the suffering they went through. And I plead with people not to support these industries. I rarely find a human being that I think would be okay with supporting the things that I've seen, and that's why I try to talk to them like look, I can see that you're not that type of person. There's not that many people out there. Some cold people, there's some people who like to be ignorant, but not people who are deliberately cruel. There are not that many people who are deliberately cruel. So they're the people that I want to just like plead with and just say, look, please stop supporting this stuff. Like, help us out, help us help the animals, and help us end this horrible nightmare.
So thank you, Joey Carbstrong, for that video. I want you to imagine, viewers who are watching, that people such as myself and Joey, who work full-time as animal rights activists, we rely on your help in order to do our work. The donations that you give us help to sustain us. You see, Joey was in a car. If he is working full-time as an animal rights activist, who is going to pay for his car? He needs donations. He appreciates it so much. When you have people that support you on Patreon, for example, I think Joey does as well, we have people that give us $3 a month. Just $3 a month. For one person is not that much. But it definitely helps to sustain us animal rights activists and pay for our basic needs, which is just some food and a roof over our head. I urge you to go to Joey's site and subscribe to his channel and tell him that you saw me do a video about him. Write it in the comments section. Say that vegan teacher is supporting you. Tell him you got to his page because you found out about him from me. Let him know. Show him some love and support him on Patreon. Thank you. So of course, what can I say? I gave Joey a 100% on his video because he has just put his heart out there, and I know how hard that is. To be a full-time animal rights activist, it's really difficult. It takes its toll, and Joey is doing the best that he can. He cannot save every animal that he sees. He needs to sometimes just save himself. I know that there are other animal rights activists who are watching and who feel the same, that they just do so much and they're consistently so frustrated by themselves. I too am often frustrated and think, I wonder if I said that the right way, and oh, I made a mistake in that video, or maybe I could have done something better. We all second guess ourselves just like Joey does. But we're human and we're trying. And we're just appealing to those of you who are still eating animals to just keep learning, just have an open mind and just try to see it from their perspective. If you need help going vegan, you can go to howdoigovegan.com. There's all kinds of stuff there. Or go to the description in my channel and you will see links to different vegan chefs who make delicious recipes. And if you need help and you don't really understand what's going on, in my links also are important documentaries. Thank you to everybody who is supportive of my work. Thank you for subscribing also to my channel, and press the notification bell so that you can take part in these lessons every day. And if there's somebody that you think that I should know about, for sure, write about it in the comment section. Say, do you know about this vegan animal rights activist? And maybe I can help shed some light on their account as well. Thanks again, everyone. You're going to see some videos on the screen now. Have a look at them. If you haven't seen them yet, click on them. Be a little bit curious. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for being vegan, and for at least trying if you're not.